You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting right here in absolutely gorgeous Northport, Florida. I was out on the roads today showing some houses and having a great time. By the way, let's take our time going down 41. It's a little congested right now with all the repaving that's happening, so take your time there. Also on 75, if you can keep it under 105, that would be great. If you could keep it under 85, it would be much better. So remember, the speed limit is 70 miles an hour. I know that it's Friday night. Everybody wants to get home and have a great weekend. There is no worse place than you can be than on your back in ER if you're not being careful out there. So let's get home safe, and let's help everybody else get home safe too. I've got 3 different organizations who are going to be on the show today. I've got a home health agency who I'm going to introduce here shortly. And I've got SUNCOAST blood centers that are here right now. And I also have the city of Northport coming on at about 3:30. And we're going to talk about the emergency management side of things briefly, because I'm going to have them on in the very near future again to highlight some of the things that we should be doing during hurricane season. The reason we put this on is there's a blood drive coming up, and I'm going to throw it to Sean. And a lot of you have watched Bobcat Blitz on Tuesday nights for Northport. You will recognize Sean, but Sean is a co-host. But this is kind of Sean's blood drive, and we're coupling all these things together so that we can really promote out the home health side of things and what happens for seniors out there during a hurricane. We're going to include SUNCOAST blood because there is always a need for blood, and there's always a higher need for blood during the hurricane events. And we know that firsthand because of what we went through with Ian. So the city of Northport is just going to be a great way to couple this thing together. And I'm looking forward to doing this. Sean, I'm going to throw it at you, and let's introduce your project and your team as we go through this real quick.
All right. Well, thank you, John. First of all, John, it was very hard not to roll out a good afternoon Bobcats. That was a tough one not to just come out with that, but I appreciate
I'm sure.
that. It is hard. So, no, I don't think you for bringing us on tonight. I have my boss here, Donna Ferrero. She's in charge of this whole branch here. We cover quite a bit of the area. But before we get to that part, real quickly on the blood drive, I was talking with Frank a while back. Summertime, a lot of people don't know how low the numbers get. Obvious populations, people are leaving for the hot summer's getting out of here. But we can recall a couple years back when Ian came through how many medical issues there were, how many ERs were swamped, and we knew the blood drives were having a hard time keeping up with all the various problems there. So I thought, why not? Let's try it. I've never had a blood event drive here at Amedisys, so one thing led to another, and here we are. So I want to thank Frank. I want to thank SUNCOAST Blood. I've been working with them off and on for several years. I just hit my 6-gallon mark, so I want to reach out to them, help them out, and I want to thank them. So real quick here, Donna Ferrero, my boss. What's going on with home health? What's Amedisys all about? What do we do? What can we offer the population in the area?
Well, we've been here for 16 years, covering Port Charlotte, Northport area. And what we do is we provide home health to seniors in their home as far as nursing and physical therapy, occupational therapy, social workers, and speech therapy. So we come out and we provide skilled care, and blood's important to us as well. A lot of our patients require blood, so I'm glad that we're partnering with them to get that done. Hurricane season is definitely coming, and they're saying that this is going to be the worst, the most storms ever. We're hoping we've had our share here. We went through actually 2 hurricanes in home health before, with Charlie and with Ian, and we were very, very involved in the community with Northport and Port Charlotte as far as, getting ready for the storm, once we know it's coming, and then during the storm, and then right again after the storm. So, there's a lot of issues that, that we get involved with when these storms come.
So, boss, why don't you walk someone through what would a typical pre-storm preparation be? And a lot of people don't know it's not just the insulin patients. There's other things as well we got to worry about. What
Medications is huge.
Yeah.
You know, we first thing that we have to do when we hear a storm's coming is we have to call all of our patients. And that's a large thing to do. We have a huge team of patients, but we call them, find out where they're going, what their plan is, who needs, you know, emergency care, who needs to go to a shelter, because, you know, the shelters, there's the special needs shelters and then the regular shelters, and our patients that are on oxygen need to be in those shelters, because that was a huge issue after the hurricane. Is, you know, they had portable tanks, and if they had no power, they couldn't run their concentrators and they couldn't get more oxygen. Yeah,
we also, John, I'm sure you know this too, those oxygen tanks went fast, and it's not just the O2 that people, we had a lot of wound care issues.
Right.
We have patients with special IVs that need nursing to do that, and we couldn't get to them.
No, that
for
was
several days.
Yeah, that was a big problem.
Yeah.
You know, so after the storm, we were actually in here, you know, 3 days after the storm, you know, setting out nurses and trying to get them out to check on all of our patients, because, you know, they were isolated. They had no communication. We couldn't reach them, you know, and we knew the ones that really needed our help, you know, needing wound care, IVs, you know, a lot of high tech stuff that we do at home. We can do pretty much everything they can do in a skilled, you know, setting at home now. We do a lot of that stuff. We, you know, have tracheostomy patients, we have oxygen patients, we have IV patients, and tons of wound care. So, you know, a lot of those people, you know, had injuries after the storm, you know, needed first aid type things. So, you know, we were involved in all of that as well.
And John, we cover all of Northport. We cover a lot more than that, but the entire Northport area is under our area. So we all know the flooding, how bad that was. I just can't imagine, you know, let's say you're in your 80s, you're on oxygen every day, continuous, you might have to have insulin. I just don't know how they manage those 3, 4, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days before someone actually got to them. It's really a tough one to think about. So we're lucky we've had 2 years break from the hurricane. We're about to hit 2 years. So
we do a lot of preparation, make sure that, you know, they, you know, have everything they need beforehand, you know, that they get their prescriptions filled ahead of time so that they don't run out when they can't get more of. Some of them are life, you know, threatening medications they need to have. So making sure that they have that plan in place and, you know, have all the supplies that they need. And, you know, a lot of them don't do preparation, even though, you know, they see it on the news and that they're not ready.
Or they're stubborn, they don't want to move at all. They're not leaving their dogs. They're not. I've been here for 10 storms. I'm not going. We had a lot of that attitude as well, that mentality. It was tough to break that. And I think they learned a little bit off this Ian storm. But we don't know. We'll find out the next hurricane, how stubborn they are.
A lot of them are saying, you know, I stayed last time, I'm not going to stay again. So, you know, and that's probably the best idea for some of these. If they have family members that can take them out of the area, that's what they need to do, because after the storm, you know, there's not a lot of support at first.
Yeah. So John, I had an interesting story. I think Monday was the last day we had, and Tuesday was the storm, I believe. I had a patient, this is a good example of what we're talking about. I went to his house on purpose because he had a really bad infection. He had one of those special lines, I call them PICC lines, and had IV antibiotics and all that. He was not looking good at all. And I'm in there, and the family's looking really stressed. It's getting windy out. I called EMS. I said, listen, this man cannot survive for 2 to 4 days. I thought it'd be 2 to 4 days. We didn't think it'd be 2 weeks, 2 to 4 days on his own. EMS showed up. They took him. They were the last ride for the day. They were done. The wind had gotten too high. He would have not made it. He was the last one that ambulance taken out of there for the storm. So a lot of crazy stories like that out there. We got tons of we can tell you about.
Yeah, we really need to make sure that our patients are registered with emergency services ahead of time, because they don't get a ride if they're not registered, and they don't get a spot. You know, so, you know, that's real important part of what we do too, is make sure that they're prepared for that.
And they don't know. A lot of people don't know about this, that there is a special service that will come and get them, or they have a special place they can go to that has oxygen during the storm and nursing care at these specialized sites there.
So what's changed in your preparation now after you've gone through Ian? What have you enhanced now in your services that people need to know?
I don't know. I think the same, right?
No, I think that we learned about communication was a problem, and trying to find an alternate way of communicating with the patients, and that after the storm, as far as getting our nurses and therapists, when they go out to do an admission for a patient, they have to identify what type of service they need in the event of an emergency. And I think they took it really lightly as far as, what are you going to do? And they would, just kind of brush past that. So we have like levels of, 1, 2, and 3, for instance, of what level of help they would need. And then we filter down when the storm comes to know who needs help first. So getting that emergency contact information up front, we're making sure we get that better, and identifying who is special needs. But, when we need that emergency contact person, and that emergency contact person and phone number should not be their spouse, because they're going to be together. We need to know somebody out of the area we can contact, so we can try to, make sure that they're okay. And if, so we can get a hold of that. So that kind of preparation for us has been the key of getting that information up front.
And I'm guilty of it. I was one of those nurses who didn't take it seriously. That piece of paper, it's a piece of paper we got to fill out. Now, after that, I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
where are you going? What are you doing? And so. And
then we've also tried to identify team members, and staff members that are willing to be available and help after the storm, that are going to stay, because we have staff that leave the area too. And we don't blame them a bit. If that's how they feel to keep themselves and their family safe, that's what they need to do. But we try to identify a post-hurricane team and where we can meet up after the storm, so that we are prepared to get out and start helping people.
Well, we've got a huge amount of nonprofit organizations that are out there. Now, you're not nonprofit. SUNCOAST is. And the nonprofit organizations are an essential part of our daily lives, let alone during an event like Ian, where we really had to strategically call on outside sources to really come into our area and give good, solid support. You guys are really doing that for your patients on that side preemptively, and really with the knowledge that you've gained from the hurricane, just like the nonprofit organizations. You guys are definitely gearing up differently this year, knowing that we have really some major storms heading our direction. Our water temperature is about 5 degrees hotter right now than what it should be. That should be alarming to everyone to get prepared. I know that this is not a scare tactic by any stretch of the imagination. This is really just to remind people tomorrow is day one. And strategically, you need to get yourself a game plan and understand the strategy of survival. You really need to understand that the flooding we had in Northport really educated a lot of people here. What happened in Fort Myers is almost off the chain, unbelievable. We're still recovering down there in some parts. We still have tarps on some of our facilities here. So we are not fully recovered from Ian, and that was 2 years ago. I'm going to bring in Frank here real quick, because there is some essential conversation that has to be had for giving blood and blood products, because I'm sure that we learned a lot through Ian, that there was a huge need that needed to be filled. Am I correct there, Frank?
You are very correct, John, and thank you again for having me on. A little bit of quick about SUNCOAST. We are, like you mentioned, a non-for-profit blood center. We go ahead and we actually help with 3 different products. It's a whole blood, plasma, and platelets. We're celebrating our 75th anniversary this year, so we've been around for quite some time, and we service 14 of the 15 local hospitals here, up and down the West Coast. More specifically in Northport and the surrounding areas, we facilitate faucet, Sarasota Memorial, and a lot of you, I know that go to Moffitt Cancer Center. So we do supply them also. Little kind of facts on an off year. Like last year, Sarasota Memorial went through over 7,000 units of blood and 2,000 platelets. Fawcett here went through over 2,000 whole bloods and about 2,000 platelets also. So what we're doing is, this is on an off year. So with Ian, we expect, we ended up hitting almost 50% more for that year, which was, again,
it's almost unbelievable, isn't it?
It truly is. And with the products that we go ahead and supply the hospitals, it's just not for emergency sakes also. People still need cancer treatments through this, which are, mainly platelets are used for. Plasma. So you have our firefighters out there, our police putting out fires, that helps them recover if they do get injured. And then obviously the whole blood for traumatic injuries on that. So we do need, especially O negative, O positive donors. We would like to start getting prepared because whole blood does sit on the shelf for a couple months. So we're able to go ahead, stock up, and make sure that we're helping our community be prepared for, what's the upcoming hurricane season.
So real quick, let's hit our date again for this blood drive. We've got about 9 watchers on Facebook right now, which is pretty high considering it's 3:30 in the afternoon. And I know everybody's going to share this information and get it out because it is vital. But can you give the time and the date and the location of the blood drive for Tuesday?
Yeah, it's right here in our parking lot down here in Port Charlotte. It's June 4th, Tuesday. I don't know the address here. Oh, here it is, 4161 Tammy Trail. Sorry, it's the same complex as the VA clinic. A lot of people know where that is here in Port Charlotte. If you got to Joann's Fabrics, you've gone too far. So if you got to go across the bridge, you've gone too far. We're in 41. Oh gosh, how far below Midway and all that?
Probably about a mile and a half, 2 miles.
So if you know where the hospitals are, we're not too far from that area. So
well, Megan Collins just texted in. I'll be there. Happy to help. So
thank you, Megan.
Thanks,
I'm
Megan.
signing people up as we speak. Okay, here we go.
So anybody that has a comment during the show, I'm going to put it up there. If you have a question, feel free to ask. This is audience participation as always, and I truly love it when people post things. It lets us know that what we're providing is very important. So, Frank, talk a little bit about what you guys learned during Ian and what you've done to change some things up.
So my personal story is that I went ahead and moved down here, bought a house in Port Charlotte 26 days before Ian. So that was a quite a big experience for me. Started with the company, and what we do is we show that there is a lot of controlled chaos within the hospitals. Sometimes they, like the Northport ER, Sarasota Memorial, Fawcett, they really do get inundated. And we do have a direct supply for each one of those hospitals that we go ahead and we're here to go ahead and help in any fashion way. We actually set up blood drives also for them on days that are, a couple days after the hurricane. We're doing specific blood drives at the hospitals. So people go ahead and can gather there for that.
Fantastic. We, the fact that SUNCOAST is out there, you're not just at one location. You're portable. You're doing all kinds of blood drives all over the place. Can you talk about the importance of people setting up blood drives?
Oh yes, and that's very important. Like Sean, we do need people more like Sean out there is helping us. Different businesses out there, churches, schools, any type of facility that will be able to go ahead and be interested in helping their local community would be amazing. And my contact information is scrolling below. You can contact me via email anytime, and I'll get back to you, usually within 5-6 hours on that. And also, if you have any questions about, can I donate? Can I not donate? I've had this. A lot of rules have changed where you weren't able to donate in the past, you can donate now. If you've had cancer and you're remission free, for example, for 1 year, you can go ahead and donate and help out. But we do need more people like Sean out there reaching out and helping us, save lives in our local community. All the donations that we do receive are either, most of them stay local, but we are on what's called BERC, which is a Blood Emergency Readiness Corps, which helps serve natural disasters all over the country there. And we're on call with that once a month. And we also send units to the military every month. But 95% of our donations stay local and help your fellow neighbor.
So Maggie Cody asked, what are the ages to donate?
You have to be 16 years old in Charlotte County with parental consent. 17, Fantastic. You do not need parental consent.
Let's see. Years since I've donated. Martha, this is your time to step up. Just because it's been years since you've donated. Frank, do you have an answer for that one?
I do. So when you the process is also with donating, you're actually helping save your own life. There's a couple reasons for this. Is that when you come into the bus, we're just not going ahead and asking for your donations. We're giving you a healthcare screen. So we're going ahead and we're checking your iron levels, your hemoglobin levels, your blood pressure, your heart rate. We're going through your medical history. We have found where we've gotten tests from, samples that we've taken, and we've helped save some people from leukemia. We've also were able to help, found out somebody had AFib. So it's very important. And the health benefits on the side of donating, you can go ahead and think of it like you're changing oil in your car. Your red blood cells, they do get old on this, and they do. And as they get older, they get bigger. So that also helps with restriction of blood flow. So when you go ahead and donate, your body goes into a regenerative mode. So it can help you go ahead and, fix some tissues that have been partially damaged. Also, you wouldn't know it from looking at me, and thank goodness it's from here down, but you do burn up to 650 calories also by donating.
Nice.
And the donation.
How is that possible? Oh,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, your body goes into a thermic reaction.
That's
right.
Never thought about that.
And it does go through a quick regenerative process. And there's other, conditions out there where you do have to go ahead. I have one of them. I have something that's called thick blood. The only way to be able to go ahead and manage that is by donating every 60 days. Men have a lot. Yeah, and men have typically, there's a lot of men out there that have high iron. The only way to go ahead and deal with that is donating. Martha, I do see you said that you're 73. Yesterday, I had a donor that was 86 years old.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's great.
Fantastic. So I've got our next guest who's going to be coming on the screen. It's Stacy. Hold 1 second, please. Stacy, how are you doing?
Oh,
Hey,
I'm
John.
doing great. How are you?
Yeah. 1 second, Stacy. Hey, Donna, thank you so much for spending time with us, and I appreciate you being part of the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Donna. We'll see you on Tuesday.
I'll be there.
So, Stacy, we're having this overview real quick about what the importance of being prepared on the health side of it, on the SUNCOAST blood side of things, donating blood, preparing for any events that we have out there. As the city of Northport, what are some suggestions that you guys are really starting to tout as we're approaching hurricane season?
Yes. So I know that we have a lot of fear around this hurricane season just because there's a lot of hype going on with how many storms we're going to have. It's going to be really busy. The waters are warmer than usual. There's not a lot of wind shear. And yes, it's going to be a busy season. Still prepare like you would for any other hurricane season. Even if there was just one storm out there, we would still prepare like we would for any season, because that one storm could be the one that hits us, right? So just to continue to prepare with getting your kids together, having your family plan updating those emergency contacts, making sure those are written down in case your phone battery dies and you need to have them available. We want you to have evacuation routes and plans. So it's just the same things we tell everybody over and over again. There's not a lot of new information other than the new flood maps, and making sure people understand that the flood maps are different from the evacuation maps, and your evacuation level hasn't changed based on your flood level. They're two different things. One's based on storm surge and one's based on flood. So we want to just make sure that everybody knows, just because your flood map has changed, the evacuation map has still stayed the same.
Yeah, do we have, I know the county does, and I know we can find this information online through the state, but does the city of Northport have online hurricane preparedness pamphlet?
We like to use the counties because theirs is just so good.
Nope. Yeah.
We have a lot of links that will take you to the county resources, and we have a lot of local links as well available, and you'll be able to find information at northportfl.gov/alerts is where we're going to put all of our emergency information. But as far as like a pamphlet or a brochure, we like to use the Sarasota County All Hazards Guide, because they're the ones that own the sheltering information. They own the evacuation information. The city really has our website for right now. It's not saying we won't do something in the future. I think that's something we definitely should invest in, and that may be coming soon. We'll get with my communications on that. That is a great thing that we should have. But right now, we're pushing everything to what this county has.
Well, I know the one thing that we've learned at the radio station, in even partnering with the city of Northport now, is during an emergency event, 97.5 FM is the direct communication from the city of Northport. And all the citizens that are listening right now, please share that information with anyone that you know. We have never had that capability before, and we do have that now. So the City Hall actually has the ability to go live. Even if they interrupted me right now, they could take over the station immediately during an emergency event. And I love the fact that we've partnered with that as your community radio station. It is vital that we all take advantage of all the resources out there. And I saw that you kind of smiled and gave a thumbs up there, Stacy, because it has to be exciting for you guys at City Hall to be able to get that information out too.
It is. We really appreciate your partnership and you entrusting us and our communications team with that responsibility and the ability to just cut you off mid-sentence and just put our emergency information out there.
And I'm going to promise you, there are some people out there in some of these social media groups that want to hit off on me all the time. And I love the fact that they can't. So that's the beauty in this whole thing. But the city being able to wrap their hands around the communication side of it is essential for the almost 87,000 plus people that live in Northport and surrounding areas. Because I'll give an example of what Commissioner Langdon said. She had no way of getting from A to B during Ian, and there was no communication to talk about how to get from one area to the next because of the road closures. With that data now, I know I was on the air a lot during that. And not that I want it to happen, but I'm going to tell you, I look forward to conquering the challenge of communication with the city of Northport. And I know that your team, the communications team, and the emergency management side of things, you guys are gearing up, not just for the communications out, but you guys are really gearing up in case we do have another hurricane event, like we had with Ian, aren't you?
Yes, that we are taking all of the lessons learned from Ian and putting all of our resources together to try to really amp up our communications capability. So that includes, you know, those partnerships that we now have with you, 97.5, which is just fabulous. But also we have Starlink now, which we didn't have before. So we'll have Wi-Fi calling capabilities. Should all other forms of communications go down, we should be able to still get a hold of each other and post things on the internet that way. But again, with 97.5 WKDW, get radios, battery powered radios, have lots of extra batteries. Make sure before the storm, your radios are tuned into WKDW, because that is where we can break through with any emergency information, including, you know, what roads are closed and when you guys are safe to go back home.
Yeah, and I kind of want you to hit, because we talk a lot with nonprofit organizations, as we are one, and SUNCOAST Blood is one. The nonprofit organizations are a huge value to the city of Northport too. And can you kind of talk about the value of the nonprofit organizations post Ian?
Oh my gosh, invaluable. I mean, you can't put a price on what these people are doing for the city of Northport. Even now, almost 2 years later, the long-term recovery group is still working hard to get people back on their feet, fix people's homes, supply them with furniture, mental health, spiritual health. These organizations are really coming together and continuing to help Northport recover. And it is an ongoing effort. And I know that they're going to partner with us again should another disaster occur. They're always ready to go. We just need to know when and who to ask.
Well, I know I want to have you on for a longer conversation, and I want to couple some things in with that. And I'm going to get with you and staff on really doing a full-blown educational in the next, hopefully the next 30 days, so that we can really kind of highlight what people should be doing. And maybe we will be the video or the radio show that gives them the roadmap to their safety and success on conquering some of the things that we did have to face as challenges with FEMA and the Small Business Administration. I've got contacts there, and I want to get that to be a really good anchoring for a lot of the strategic planning that you have to do, that you have to, as citizens, we've got to encourage our citizens to go through the processes. And I think there's no better way than to have a show specifically on the processes of success of the outcome of a hurricane scenario. And I look forward to working with you on that. And I hope we can get together soon and put something together.
I would love to. Yeah. And FEMA is actually in the process of updating their individual assistance program, which should make less hoops for residents to jump through to get their funds. So once we have all that information, that would be great to share. Yeah.
Fantastic. Sean is responsible for bringing this venue forward. Sean, do you have anything to ask the city of Northport as a business owner?
I don't see the screen in front of me. I can't see who it is. Is this Stacy? Did you come down here a year ago? I can't remember. We had someone from the city come down.
I did not come down. That might have been Mike Ryan.
No, maybe. I can't remember. So no. No, I just, one of the things you might have missed earlier, my boss was here. We had such a hard time after the storm as a home health agency getting to the patients' homes.
Oh, yeah, that was me. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, this place sounds familiar. So I haven't had any movement on that, but yeah, we are still on it. What Donna didn't tell you is when the storm goes away, we forgot to mention this to everybody. We have a crew, Amedisys is a big company. They actually will call every single patient and try to find out where they're at. because we can't do it because we lost power, we lost phone lines, we lost a lot of things in the office. So they were actually calling our patients, and that's how we found out half our patients were still in emergency rooms in Tampa, Brandon, because the local ones are so filled up. So we also, I wouldn't say search recovery, but a little recovery there on our end too. So not just the pre-storm planning, but it's the post-storm, trying to find our patients and where they at. Kind of, we try to triage who needs us out there immediately, who needs to go to the ER immediately, that kind of thing. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Stacy, I know that I said I would keep you for 10 minutes, and guess what? We just hit. We just hit that 10 minutes.
congratulations.
I just
So
want to jump in. Stacy,
Go.
I want to say thank you. We are partnered up with the city of Northport also. We do have a
Hmm.
drive going on June 5th at City Hall from 9 to 2. So I want to say thank you very much. We really appreciate your employees coming out and helping us and getting ready for this hurricane.
Of course, I just gave blood last week, so I don't think I can give blood on June
Oh.
5th. But
I'm
I'll
going to
pass
stop
it
up
along.
and say hi.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. It's always great talking to you.
Stacy,
Thank you.
thanks for being
Here,
part
Stacy.
of it. And the short notice, it's fantastic to have you as part of the representation from the city of Northport. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Sean, you know, this whole thing being put together, the importance of the blood drive,
Right.
and I want you to approach this different. We've got about 19 minutes left on the show, but you told me a story about why you're donating.
Yeah.
I what's the drive behind this whole thing for you?
Couple of reasons. Well, first of all, I'm running out of time. I'm 52, and a lot of guys my age group, this is where we start showing up with the AFib conditions, and they start putting us on aspirin and other anticoagulants, and that kind of takes a lot of us off that list. So that was my first thing. But the original story was I probably started like a lot of kids did. I started in high school. I did my first, it was SUNCOAST. I went to Sarasota High School back in 1990. I graduated 1990. So they were giving away free plastic Miami Vice neon sunglasses. That was the hook that got me in. I would have been 1989. I hadn't graduated yet. So that got me in. I took a big break from it. I don't know why. Then September 11th came, 9/11 came. I went back on that drive. That was a big push. I was in Boca Raton at the time. But what really got me going is my dad. He had a lot of health issues. And towards the end of his life, they were giving him a lot of blood transfusions. And I know that upset him because he didn't think it was going to make a difference. So I told him that, don't worry, Dad, I'll pay you back. You know, I'll make sure it happens. And 6 gallons later, I'm still going at it. And I just, you know, I really feel it's a great thing I can do while I can. But I want to talk to Franklin about this. So about 2 years ago, since I became a steady donor, I have B positive blood. And they said to me one day, would you want to try doing platelets? And I didn't think much about it at the time. A lot of my home health patients, they're on chemotherapy, and they're the ones who really get, if there's a problem, that the platelets tends to be their issue. So I'm like, you know what? I'm a home health nurse, got a lot of chemo patients. They need the platelets. So I've been doing mostly platelets ever since then. I'll do blood every now and then, but you know, it just feels good because I believe the statistic, Frank, if I'm right, every donation helps 3 people. Is that still the trend out there?
It is. Every donation does help save up to 3 lives. And with platelets, you know, that's greatly appreciated. Because with platelets, it's a little different than the actual red blood cells that can live outside the body. So platelets, once donated, we have 5 days to be able to have that product to be used. And 2 of those 5 days, we have to scrub it. So now you're looking at a shelf life of only 3 days. But
Wow.
the good thing about platelets is you're allowed to go ahead and donate those every 7 days.
Wow.
Unlike red blood cells, which is every 56 days.
So,
But,
you know, people can go through a cycle that way and kind of stay steady at donating, can't they?
Yes, absolutely. Again, I donate anywhere from every 56 to 60 days. I have O positive blood, so that is the second most universal blood out there. So I instead of doing the platelets on there, where O positives is a little bit more needed at our hospitals, for emergency sakes, I have to go ahead and do that. And with my thick blood, I have to donate that anyway. So,
Hey, Sean, what time slots do you have available for Tuesday?
Well, right now our mornings are filling up. We start at 8 o'clock. It looks like the 11 to 1, and I'm hoping Frank will stay a little bit later. People show up at 1, so it's starting to fill up in the morning.
Do you have an 8 o'clock? Do you have an 8 o'clock available?
We will find room for you at 8 o'clock. Yes. Who do you have?
Me.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, look at that. That'd be amazing.
Sign me up for 8 o'clock. I'll be there.
All right, sounds good.
And I'll go live at 8 o'clock on site,
man.
and we'll promote it out.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, Frank, tell John about the other Northport things that we're going to be having coming up. Besides, I forgot about City Hall. Well, I think we got 2 more big ones in the summer coming up.
And mention City Hall again.
Yeah, in Northport, we do go ahead, and we are at 5th and 3rd, right there by the Applebee's. We're there every other Saturday. So the next time that we're there is on the 15th. So if you're in that area, that's great. We do have a fixed site in Port Charlotte that's open 6 days of the week. And that's on Tamiami Trail, right where the neighborhood Walmart is in Port Charlotte. So you can go down there. As I mentioned, we do have Your Drive, which again is on the 4th from 8 to 1. We have one in Northport at City Hall again the following day on the 5th from 9 to 2. We do have another. It's the Allen Memorial Alumni Basketball.
Hey, Frank, you keep fading out.
Ooh. All right. Is that any better there?
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's a little better right there. So mention the last couple that you brought up.
Sure. Sean's Drive again is on the 4th, and that's going to be running from 8 to 1. The City of Northport is going to be the following day on the 5th, running from 9 to 2. We do have the Allen's Memorial basketball tournament held in Northport High School. That's going to be on July 27th. And then we're doing a big event, Boots versus Badges, in the green space of downtown Northport. And that'll be on the 24th. We just don't have the hours set just yet.
Boots and Badges. That's a not that there's not one more important, but I'm going to tell you, the police officers and the firemen would tell you that that's essential to show up for.
Yeah, it very much is. It's a big event for us. And we do love, we're in the life-saving business also. And we just, love our military, love our police, I love our fire people and we're one big community. So they do really, really come out and support us for that event.
Fantastic. Sean, so why did the Home Health Agency really spotlight this as part of the community? Can you talk about that relationship with?
Yeah, a lot of it is we get, I'd say at least 3/4 of our patients coming out of the hospital setting. Most of our referrals come from the hospital setting, and of those let's say 75% of those referrals, let's say a good 1/4 of them had some kind of blood product or a platelet product or plasma donation as well coming to them. So, I don't know the numbers on how many people are eligible to donate blood versus how many actually do. I know the fraction is very small. And I just think as a home health agency, if we're serious about portraying this image of caring for our patient clientele, our population, it's just the right thing to do to have that statement that, hey, we are going, and we're one of the bigger ones in this area. So I just felt like we need to have this. It's our first year doing it. So if it does well, we'll add it again next year and try to get bigger. And I just, like I said, I think most of us healthcare workers, we're in it for the healing part of the job, right? We're here because we want to help people. And there's no better way, less than an hour worth of your time, you just help 3 people without even sweating. You're sitting in an air conditioned bus and nice people. And what a great way to pay back to society and give them blood products.
And you know that with the way Frank was talking about this, the shelf life and different things, I've got to tell you, my question would be, Frank, we don't throw blood out, do we? That blood didn't sit on the shelf and go away. It
No.
gets used.
It does get used, and during the summer, unfortunately, where people don't understand. Oh, is this better?
Yeah, speak more directly.
Okay. What people don't realize is that even the slightest surgery, a shoulder surgery, something of that nature, you do still need blood on hand if something goes wrong. So what Sarasota Memorial at times, and some of the other hospitals, last summer were having to cancel some of these surgeries because they didn't have enough blood products on hand to be able to do some of the more non-emergency situations on this. And what Sean was leading to is, you know, out of our population, less than 3% of our population donates. And about 75%, just a little bit less than that, people will need some type of product, donor product, blood product, plasma, platelets in their lifetime. And the numbers just don't seem to add up. Anything anybody out there, you know, can do. The restrictions now for giving blood are a lot less than they were even 2 years ago. For example, is that you could be on aspirin and still be able to donate. There are some blood thinners that you can be on and still donate. We have been able to filter out mad cow disease. So there's a number of things where people don't think they can donate, where they actually can. If you've had hepatitis C, A, B, you can still donate nowadays.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this because for those of us who are wanting to donate, and is there any way to start the paperwork for this blood drive early? Can we do that online somehow, or do we do it on site?
Yes, actually, we do have a quick pass, and I'm hoping it's ready. We just are switching computers. We're redeveloping everything over the summer. But if you go to suncoastblood.org, and it's called an ABO Quick Pass, and you can answer all those questions and everything ahead of time. So when you go into the center, you can actually skip about 15, maybe 17 minutes of that time. And because the actual donation process, I mean, really lasts anywhere from 6 to 8.5, 9 minutes, right around there, that you're actually going.
So that really helps a lot of people as far as their schedule goes. So if you're looking for a spot to donate next Tuesday, Sean, how can they get on your list?
But I have to call me because right now the system's not working too well on that side. So they can give me a call. The number for Amedisys that's on the, I don't know if you have it scrolling or not.
Well, go ahead and give it.
Oh, 941-629-1600. Just ask for Sean.
And give it one more time.
941-629-1600.
You know that number is scrolling across the bottom.
There you go.
For any of you that need to write it down and schedule your appointment, Sean can be text or he can be called and get signed up. I know that we've had several people out there. I'm going to be there at 8:00 in the morning.
Awesome.
I look forward to it on Tuesday.
Great.
And I am actually going to go online and preemptively fill things out.
That's awesome. Hey,
Excellent.
real quick, John. Frank, there's something nice I forgot to mention. In terms of what you allow now, what I've noticed is the restrictions have dropped in terms of time as well. That's a big deal for this population. The tattoos, the piercings, accidental needle sticks if you're a healthcare worker. Could you mention that real quick? Because it used to be a lot longer. It delay you for quite some time.
Sure. Tattoos and piercings are 4 weeks now.
Wow.
So
It used to be a year.
After that, yep, used to be. Traveling overseas now is 3 months instead of it was a year.
Okay. So there you go.
So yeah, if you go ahead and a lot of restrictions, we're also a research center, so we work directly with the FDA, and we're one of the leading researchers in the country. And we're able to every year is come up with less and less restrictions for people to be able to go ahead and donate.
So I'm gonna. You're cutting in and out a little bit there,
Okay.
Frank. Still, when you lean forward, it seems to be picking up much better.
All right, we'll try this one again. Put my big nugget on the line. But like I said, I don't know if you heard me or not, or can you hear me, Sean? Give me the thumbs up.
Now it's struggling.
No.
Struggle
Right.
bus.
Yeah, it's struggling.
All right. So listen, we've got about 4 minutes left, and I do want to bring something else up because it is something happening in Northport, and I could see a good partnership forming out of this for the SUNCOAST blood opportunity. We've got a brand new on Toledo, just off Toledo Blade, down across from Bobcat Trail. This Saturday, we have a farmers market opening up. And if you can look up Lola Blue, Lola Blue is a fantastic business. She has soaps and different products in there. She supplies Whole Foods through the whole state. So we have somebody in Northport who started her business, but one of her employees has started the farmers market, and they got approved for the city of Northport. And so the farmers market is this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. And if you don't know where Lola Blue is, all you have to do is find the emergency room of Sarasota Memorial Hospital and follow it to the left. And you will see the farmers market because they're going to have it on that main drag right on the service road. So you've got great location, great opportunity. The city of Northport has been really needing something like this. So every citizen should be out there and being part of this. And Frank, maybe another opportunity to partner in with them as they continue to grow that and really kind of connect the city with giving blood at the farmers market. What a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah. So I wanted to throw that out there. I know we are on short time. One more time with your contact information, Sean.
All right. So Amedisys here in Port Charlotte, 941-629-1600. If you want to text me, I heard you say text, 941-780-7872. That's a different number. That's my text number, 941-780-7872. The blood drive is 4161 Tamiami Trail. We're at Building 8. It's in Port Charlotte, Florida. It's the same complex as the VA clinic of Port Charlotte. They'll be right here in the parking lot.
And just so you know, I'm gonna do this because we've got 2 minutes left. They've shouted out to me, but her employee, Jamie's employee at Lola Blue, is none other than Mr. Wright himself. And what a great job he's done battling and putting all these things together and really making it a value for all of us. It is through Shop Local that he's running all these things. And I was trying to pull up the exact time, trying to do that real quick because of things happening. Of course, I messed that one up because I had it pulled up and my fat finger messed it up. But, you know, it's citizens like him who really
Right.
came forward. Jamie has really been supportive of it. But they've got, I believe, 30 vendors who are coming
Wow.
to the event. So it's a big deal. Things need to get started with that. I'm trying to real quick pull it up. Let's see if I can find it. The things we do. The things we do. Live on the air, the last 30 seconds of a show.
That's okay.
You know? Oh my gosh. Come on, load. There it goes. I'm definitely trying to give him a shout out. Jake, I'm sorry. Forgot your first name, but Jake Reich, huge asset. Put this whole thing together for the farmers market. Really needs to be given a lot of kudos. And Jamie for really supporting him through his hard work and efforts. Got to tell you, young guy, young kid, just trying to light the world on fire and create things in Northport, even though it's tough to do. Like him because he doesn't take the word no. We need more fighters like that in this world. And the beauty is I think Frank and Sean are both people who like challenges and fight them every day. So I appreciate both of you guys being part of the show. And
Appreciate that.
Hope to see you guys out there on Saturday. But I'm going to be at the event on Tuesday at 8 a.m.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Thank you, John.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Frank.
Not a problem.
Thank you, everybody.
Not a problem. This is John Rawlings with WKDW Radio saying thanks. Have a great night and get home safe.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.